Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we are going to learn some IELTS speaking vocabulary on the topic of museums. In this lesson, I'm going to explain to you what the words mean, and I'm going to use each of these words in a sentence. If you want to know more about how to use these words to do your IELTS speaking part 1 and part 2, then have a look at the videos that I have already uploaded on how to use these words in IELTS speaking part 1 and part 2. I'm going to put the links of the videos in the description box and in the comment section. So have a look at those videos so that you can know what sort of questions you could get on the topic of museums and art exhibitions and how to answer those questions using this vocabulary. Now let's get into the lesson, but before we begin, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video on all your media platforms. Give the video a thumbs up. It really cheers me up. It encourages me to continue uploading more videos. So don't forget that thumbs up. Now, let's begin with the first word, and that is paintings. Now, painting is the action or the skill of using paint either in a picture or as a decoration. And when you go to museums, you will see a lot of different paintings that are hung on the wall. Now, we have different types of paintings. For example, we have oil paintings and we have water paintings. The next word is painters. The people who paint are called painters. We have famous painters, for example, Van Gogh. Okay, he is a very famous painter. So painters basically are the people who paint the paintings. The next word is ancient artifacts. Ancient artifacts. Ancient means old, very old. Okay? If someone says to you, that painting is very ancient, then it means that it's extremely old. The word artifacts, on the other hand, refers to an object, okay? It is an object made by a human being, typically one of cultural or historical interest. It is usually an object. You can have, for example, gold and silver artifacts, okay, which have been made by people. And typically they are in the museum because they are of cultural or historical interest. Some artifacts, for example, could be in the form of beads. For example, you could have tools, okay, from the past. You could also have things like calabashes, for example. So you could have different types of artifacts, but basically they are objects that you find in a museum because they have some cultural or historical interest. The next word is pottery. Pottery. Now, pottery refers to pots. It refers to pots. And pots refer to dishes or other articles that are made of fired clay. So pottery refers to pots or dishes and other articles that are made of fired clay. For example, in a museum, you can find porcelain or stoneware, pots or dishes, and other items that are from the past. And that is the reason why they're there. Okay, so you can have pottery that is made of earth or ground or clay. You can also have some pottery that is made of porcelain. And you can have pottery that is made of stoneware. For example, you can also find some pottery that is made of ceramics. Okay, so pottery refers to the pots and dishes and other items that are made of fired clay. Now, and the reason why they're in the museum is because they have some kind of historical past. Maybe they have been dug out from the ground by some archaeologists, for example. Now, the next word is sculptures. Sculpture. Now, a sculpture is basically a form of art, okay? And the whole idea, it is most of the time the sculptures are in the form of a carved stone or wood, okay? Most of the sculptures are made from carved stone or wood, or by casting metal or plaster, okay? So when they make sculptures, they want to make or represent a particular thing by carving or casting it. And it could be made or carved from stone or wood, or by casting metal or plaster. So we have different types of sculptures, but all you have to remember is that sculptures are carved. They are carved from stone or wood, or by casting metal or plaster, okay? And to do that, they use chisels, and they use or stones which they cut into different shapes, for example, to represent people's faces or people's bodies or even animals, okay? Now, the other word that we have here is an art exhibition. An art exhibition. What is an art exhibition? An art exhibition is a display of different pieces of art, okay? It is a display of different pieces of art that have different designs, for example. And when you go to an art exhibition, then you could see different sorts of sculptures. For example, pottery, you could see paintings, you could see ancient artifacts. But an art exhibition is a display of different forms of paintings, ancient artifacts, pottery, or sculptures, and you will find them in a museum. And most of the times, the items there are usually arranged in a particular theme. And in an art exhibition, you could have paintings or items that are featuring different kind of artists or painters. Okay? Now, the next word is an art gallery. An art gallery is really just an art exhibition, okay? An art gallery is a place where you would go to see different forms of art. For example, paintings. So there is not much difference between an art exhibition and an art gallery, but an art gallery really is a room or building for the display or sale of works of art, okay? An art gallery is a room or a building for the display or sale of works of art. And within an art gallery, you will find an art exhibition. You can find an art exhibition, for example, okay? So an art gallery could be a room or a group of rooms or other spaces where works of art are placed on display, possibly for sale, okay? Now, the next word is archaeological museum. Archaeological museum. Now, archaeology has to do with the past, okay? Archaeology has to do with the past. And archaeology is really the study of human history and prehistory through the excavation of sites. Archaeology involves the study of human history or prehistory through the excavation. Excavation means digging out of sites and the analysis of artifacts and other physical remains. So what archaeologists do is they dig up things, they excavate things from the ground or from sites, and that is from the past. And when they dig out these artifacts, they analyze them, okay? They analyze them to know more about the remains of the culture of a people, for example, okay? So they dig artifacts, for example, tools that were used by people in the past, pottery that was used by people in the past. It could be even jewelry. It could be stone walls or monuments. All of these things, they dig them up from the ground. So when you visit an archaeological museum, then you see all these sort of things that they have dug out or excavated from different sites. And some of these things could be tools or pottery or jewelry or stone walls or monuments, okay, that educate people about past human life and activities, okay? So that's archaeological museums. Now, the other one is military museum. Military has to do with the army and soldiers, okay? Military relates to soldiers and war, you already know, okay? So if you go to a military or a war museum, then you may see some of the things, for example, that were used in the First and the Second World War. You could see the guns, the uniform that the soldiers would wear, maybe military tanks and that sort of thing, okay? It relates to soldiers and war. Now, the next word is statues. Statues. Now, statues means that a statue is a carved or a cast figure of a person or animal, okay? And a statue is a carved or cast figure, okay? It is a sculpture, okay? A sculpture is a statue, okay? It is a statue. It is most of the time a freestanding sculpture in which the realistic or full-length figures of persons or animals are carved or cast in a durable material, for example, wood, metal, or stone. Okay, so statues are sculptures and they're usually made or carved out of durable material, for example, wood, metal, or stone. Okay. Now, for example, you see a lot of sculptures of the Buddha. Okay. So that could be a form of sculpture. We also have a very famous sculpture, that is The Thinker, okay, by Augustin Rodin, okay. So those are sculptures. Sculptures are statues. Now, the next one is contemporary art paintings. Now, contemporary art paintings, contemporary means modern, okay? Modern art paintings. When you visit a museum, you see a lot of different types of art. And some of the art that you see there is contemporary art paintings. Contemporary means modern, okay? Modern art paintings. So that's what contemporary art paintings are. They are modern. They are by modern artists. Okay? Artists are painters. The next word is historical ornaments. Okay? Historical ornaments. Now, history has to do with the past. Okay? History has to do with the past. But what is an ornament? An ornament refers to a thing used or to make something look more attractive. Most of the times, ornaments are decorative, okay? They are decorative or embellishments, okay? And most of the times it is used for decorative purposes. So an ornament really is a decoration, okay? It is a decoration. And you can find ornaments in museums. For example, you can find beads, okay? Necklaces, earrings, okay? All different forms of embellishments. Like I said, beads would be good examples of ornaments, okay? Some ornaments are very architectural, for example. So all this would be examples of ornaments. It could be earrings, like I said, hairpins, necklaces from the past, for example, that were worn by people in the past. And a lot of archaeologists dig up a lot of ornaments. Ornaments really means decorations, okay? Things that people use to decorate themselves, embellish themselves, and make themselves look good, like earrings, necklaces, with a lot of beads, that sort of thing. Now, the final word is preserving our historical culture and heritage. And I put that word there because when we're talking about museums, the reason why we have museums is to preserve our historical culture and heritage. To preserve here means to ensure that we do not lose our historical past and heritage. To ensure that we can still remember, okay? We can still remember our historical culture and heritage, okay? So we protect it. To preserve our historical culture and heritage means to protect, okay? We want to protect our historical culture and heritage. We don't want to forget it, and that's why we have museums. Like, for example, if you go to an archaeological museum, you will learn about some of the things that people used to use in the past. For example, pottery, sculptures, statues, different ornaments. If you go to a military and war museum, then you will learn about the things that were used during the First and the Second World War, for example, okay? So all those would be forms of our culture and heritage, okay? Now, this brings me to the last section of this lesson, where I'm going to read for you the words so that you know how to pronounce them. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 1, paintings. Number 2, painters. Number 3, ancient artifacts. Ancient artifacts. Number 4, pottery. Number 5, sculptures. Number 6, art exhibition. Number 7, art gallery. Number 8, archaeological museums. Number 9, military and war museums. Number 10, statues. Number 11, contemporary art paintings. Number 12, historical ornaments. Number 13, preserving our historical culture and heritage. And finally, I'm going to give you a sentence where I'm going to use all these words. Last week, I visited an art gallery in my capital city because there was an art exhibition. I saw a lot of paintings by different painters, and I also saw a lot of ancient artifacts, pottery, sculptures, and statues. Moreover, I saw a lot of contemporary art paintings and historical ornaments. And because it was an archaeological museum, I learned a lot about preserving our historical culture and heritage. The next time I visit a museum, I want to make sure that I go to a military and war museum so that I can learn more about the things that were used by the soldiers in the First and the Second World War. So there you go. That's how you use all the words in a sentence. If you found this lesson helpful, then please give me a thumbs up. Just encourage me by giving me a thumbs up. Share this video on all your social media platforms, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more helpful content and turn your notification bell on. Now, thank you very much, and I shall see you in our next lesson. Bye bye.